Hey, House of the Dragon fans! Welcome to another review episode of House of the Dragon. This is episode 7. If you were from a normal family with normal ties, you would think that the passing of Laena would have been a very sorrowful event. And maybe it was. For her mother, for her father, for her brother, but for everyone else, it was an opportunity to come face to face after years apart, give sideways glances, hatch new plans, cement old relationships, and forge new ones. And ever-ailing Viserys is slowly losing his wits. There's a moment where he confuses Queen Alicent with Queen Emma. But by the end of the episode, King Viserys happens to be the least deceitful and morally bankrupt Targaryen, and that's saying a lot. Daemon and Rhaenyra are so happy to see each other that they can't even wait for Laena's body to be eaten by fish before they get it on and get married. For anyone who was missing dragons and wanted to see them in action, this episode had it in full glory. We saw Vhagar soar in the skies, show her might, and show her massive stature. And perhaps we also saw why Aemon should be Queen Alicent's #1 pick instead of Aegon to be heir and take the throne. So Tino, there was a family reunion of sorts happening this episode. So I don't know if these people wanted to be in that reunion, but Viserys' kids were there, Rhaenyra's kids were there, Daemon was there, Daemon's kids were there. Even Hightower made an appearance.
This was a big family reunion, amazing set. Everyone is outside having wine and kind of paying their respect. And some people are getting drunk. Other people are kind of figuring out what's going on.
Especially when they show Hightower, you see that the King of the Hand pin on him and they pan up to his face. He has aged since the time he hasn't been in court. But no one has aged more than Viserys. How do you confuse your second wife with your first wife?
Everyone is aged. He looks really bad. I mean, every episode he's getting worse and worse. But look at Sir Kristen. He's the one absorbing all of this life's energy from the king. Because man, he looks just like he did from episode 1.
Even though all this family is gathered here, they have their own issues to deal with. Lenore is obviously feeling the loss of his sister heavily.
I mean, he is the only one that is extremely distraught. Everyone else is a little bit sad or whatever, right? But you can see one side, there are people trying to kind of do their own schemes while other people are mourning. But you see that Lenore is obviously, he's devastated. His mom is devastated.
Yeah, aside from the Velaryon family, I don't think anyone even cares because they're all worried about their own position and what this means for them. It's like open season here. Rhaenyra is telling her kids to go and talk to the cousins, but how remorseful is she? She is too worried about Daemon. Like Daemon is in the vicinity, so her brains go for a toss as well. All that matters is Daemon, Daemon, Daemon. Literally, his wife has just died and she can't wait to get into bed with this guy because literally she goes to him and they have their moment because when Daemon walks away from the king, when Viserys goes, it's been a while, you need to come back home, there's a role for you to play in my court, and he's like, I don't need you, I don't need no role, there's nothing for me there. Rhaenyra is married, I have my own kids here, there's nothing for me left in King's Landing. But little does he know that Rhaenyra is not going to let that little hiccup go to waste. They have this long walk, by the shore. And she's basically like, Laena's not here. She was your wife. I don't know how happy you were. Were you in love? I don't care. I'm here. Let's have sex and let's get married.
It was way more than just, oh, let's just walk.
No,
And
her
no,
cousin
they were,
literally just died. Her cousin just died.
yes, she's always had feelings for him and throughout this whole season. So that's one clear. This is not just a lust thing, right? Number two
It's a lust
is
thing.
Daemon is also looking at her, kind of weird, smiling and stuff like that. So they, there's some bond.
Yeah,
Kind of
they're
they're
made for each
connecting.
other. They definitely don't give a shit about their wife and cousin. They only
Daemon
want
was
sex, sex, sex,
Daemon
sex,
was
sex.
laughing.
This isn't love by any means. Daemon is not in love with Rhaenyra. He wants her to get to the throne. Rhaenyra is not in love with Daemon either. She just knows that she needs a full-blown Targaryen because
Yeah.
everyone knows, and I love being sarcasm here, I love how she gaslights everybody, especially Alicent. Everyone knows that your kids are bastards. Their father is not Lenore. Everyone knows that the father is dead and he was Harwin. But She's the one acting like a victim. Like, oh my God, they're calling my kids bastards. Oh my
Well, let's
God, I didn't let
well,
this
let's be
happen.
clear.
And it's like,
She is the
what?
victim because you have to
No,
remember
she's
she
not the
didn't want to
victim.
get married to Lenore.
She should have said no.
Well, she couldn't because her dad, the king,
Exactly.
said you have to do it.
Exactly. So she didn't say no to getting married to him, whatever. They wanted to do duty and they wanted to have like cake on the outside. So now that she had her cake and she has 3 kids by him, why is she playing Allison for dumb? Allison is not a dumbass. She knows as anyone can see that these kids are not Targaryens or Valerian. Why is she putting it all on Allison? Allison is there as a mother as well. If Rhaenyra is protecting her kids, Allison has every right to protect her kids as well. This is like, hey, I slept around, I had my fun, but don't let a secret out. That secret that everyone knows, and Allison is the only one that has guts to say.
No, let's be clear. In the last episode, Ren already tells Lenore, like, "Hey, look, everyone knows. It's obvious. Obviously, people know we need to get out of here. It's not good, right?" So she was already
So
ready
then
to do that.
why,
So
when the confrontation went down between her and Allison after their kids get at it, because her son is called a bastard, but her kids are the one that attacked Aegon with a dagger first. Can you tell me if she's had this conversation with Lenore and she said to him that we need to get out of King's Landing, everyone knows what's going on and we need to keep our distance? So then why is she playing the innocent now? Because she has her selfish motives intact. She wants that throne and she doesn't want anyone to question her kid's lineage, even though it's clear as day.
let's be honest, right? If she could have said, like, "Hey, look, I can't marry Lenore because he's gay," so she knew she was protecting her dad, right? She knew that if I did that, that relationship that we're trying to build between the two families would have gone. So she actually sacrificed a lot to just get
They
married to him.
weren't trying to
And
build any relationship. They were both the ends to a mean. Let's get that straight. There was no
well, yeah, I mean, they
relationship
were
building
trying.
here.
That's
There was
true. That's
no family love happening
no, no,
here.
no, not at all.
Valerians were
Yeah,
using the
professional relationship.
Targaryens, and Targaryens were using the Valerians.
Yeah,
That's
this was
simple.
all about business. I mean, no doubt
Yeah.
about that.
So deviating a little bit, we know that Aegon is, she and Hightower both think that he should be heir. He is the firstborn. However, in this episode, we clearly see why Aemond is a better choice for Alicent. Aegon is too busy being a teenager. He doesn't care. He's too busy getting drunk all the time, which is noticeable here as well. One thing though, we find out that Aegon is betrothed to his sister Helena, who he
Yeah.
thinks is super weird and really stupid. And Aemond, he was a smart one here. He goes, if I was ordered to marry her to secure our line and keep the blood true, I would marry her. Aegon is not willing to do that. He is maybe not mature enough. And Aemond, because he's the second born and he knows he is not the one that's heir, he's not the one that everyone cares about. Maybe he has grown more than his years. And that's why you see that this dragon hungry child goes off to see Vagar, to find Vagar, because
Yeah.
Vagar, poor Vagar, obviously she's devastated after having, essentially killed her master, right? She killed Laena. You hear her soaring above the skies, but you don't see her at all. But you hear her screeches or squeals, whatever you want to say. You feel that pain. And when Aemon goes to her, there's a little bit of hesitation, like, why are you here? Why are you trying to get a hold of my reins? But he is able to talk her down. She's about to like burn him to a crisp as well, but he brings her down. So it's showing that he has some skill. He has the ability to master this massive dragon. But at the same time, if Vagar is so powerful, how does she get horse trained or dragon trained
Yeah.
so quickly? And is
Yeah.
Aemon the dragon whisperer? I
Yeah.
found that a little bit too easy, too quick. But I like that this kid took initiative. He's like, these people aren't going to make it happen to me. I got to control my destiny. And my destiny is to become a dragon rider. And Vagar now is missing a dragon rider. So I will become that dragon rider. Lena's children are watching this happen with Vagar. Daemon and Rhaenyra also see it happening. Rhaenyra even asks, who is that on her?
Yeah, no, I that's a good point. I mean, I agree that it was a little bit rushed, but at the same time, I mean, I get it, right? Vhagar, I mean, she is old dragon, right? She's been there for who knows how long.
Yes,
She's
that's
huge.
true.
So before Lena, right? Let's remember she was out there by herself for who knows how long. I feel like in Dragon, in her heart, she was waiting for somebody to come and say, "Hey, look, I got you.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
adopt you essentially. She was mad at first. We saw that she was about to just, do the fire on him, but then she calmed down. I don't know if it was really
Mhm.
command by Aegon at that time as much as it was really Vhagar herself going,
Yeah,
yeah,
was it Vhagar submitting or was it
yeah,
Aemon born a dragon whisperer? Who knows? But
yeah,
they are now dragon and dragon rider. And the whole scene that happens afterwards, where Aemon comes through and these kids, Jace, his younger brother, are woken up with Laena's kids, and they're like, "Hey, Aemon is on that dragon. He has Vhagar." And these kids wanted Vhagar for themselves. Their mother
yeah,
died, so they wanted to have that dragon. But Aemon took initiative. He has the dragon under his control now. And then, this fight breaks out. They're all essentially ganging up on Aemon, right? All four of these kids are there bullying him, and then they attack him. And obviously, in that skirmish, when he calls him a bastard, I don't know if he calls him a bastard or if it's
he
implied,
does, yeah,
because he says that, hey, don't you know what's going on here between your mom and Harwin? And so that's where hell breaks loose, because I feel like Jace knows. The younger son doesn't know as much, but Jace is older. He obviously has seen the exchanges between his mom and Harwin.
yeah.
As soon as his eye was slit, I was like, shit is gonna go down. And it
Yeah,
did.
part of me thinks, okay, the dragon is there, you claim it. That's kind of, that's what you do. And then I was wondering, okay, why is nobody else doing that, right? I mean, everybody else is busy with their own
Exactly.
crap. Yeah, but then the other part of me was, okay, so a lady dies, she has a dog. So do you think her cousins or whoever should come in and take the dog because the lady's sons didn't go and say,
This
oh,
is
or the daughters?
this is the
You can't.
Targaryen. They have no
I
morality.
know.
Your father is Daemon. This guy doesn't take no for an answer. He doesn't care that his brother is the king. His niece is the heir to the throne. He was fighting her for the longest time because he wanted to be heir, right?
Yeah.
So, don't you think when you have a massive dragon without a rider, won't you want your children to take initiative and claim that dragon? What were they doing this
Yeah.
whole time? Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not like he rang a phone, hey, Lena passed, and everyone was here the next day. No, they traveled by ship. So, in
I
all
agree.
that time, you're telling me that these kids couldn't take their mother's dragon?
No, I agree. That's why I was confused too, because I was trying to figure out
Yeah.
from Damon's standpoint and these point, like, okay, so something is obviously doesn't make sense, right?
I haven't read the book, so I don't know if this is following the timeline that closely or not. I just want to know, because obviously time has passed since she
Yeah,
died and this funeral and the luncheon that happens.
yeah,
What happened in between? What is Damon doing with his kids? Why isn't
yeah,
that killer instinct that he has and he expects from everyone? Because he literally has told his brother a million times that you're weak as hell. So why isn't he telling his children, like, okay, your mom is dead, but I am here, and now this is how we go forward as a family?
the moment Lena died, in his mind, he was like, okay, this is my opportunity now. It's going to be me and Rhaenyra. And I think at that
Exactly.
point, he loved the kids. We saw that, him teaching them,
Yeah, I'm
hugging
not
them, stuff
saying
like
he
that.
doesn't love them, but why
No,
didn't he tell them to take your mother's dragon? Because that's her legacy. Vhagar was her
no.
dragon.
He's more worried about himself at that point. Yeah, that I'm going to get Rhaenyra now, and we are going to have kids, and those kids are going to be the one on the throne. So I think at that point, he's basically like, okay, good. I
Yeah,
have some these other kids,
he's
but they're
checked
on the
out.
side. Aegon is riding the dragon, and Daemon is just calm, right? He's like, oh yeah, man, I would
Yeah.
be pissed,
Oh,
right? I would be like,
that's my
okay, you
kid's
know what?
birthright. Yeah, he's like, that's my kid's birthright, but that's okay. I'll just give it
Yeah,
away. Like, really? I felt really bad for Rhaenys. This is a woman who obviously has seen the throne slip by her because she's a woman. She
yeah,
has made peace with it. Obviously, Corlys Valerion has not. And he
no,
says that he was fighting for this for her because of her stolen right. Her sex is basically why she's not on that throne. He keeps throwing this at her. But at the end of the day, we know that he's also doing this to fulfill his own ambitions. He is a Valerian, and the Valerian line has always been diminished in front of the Targaryens. But Renee has from day one said that why are we pushing our kids into this world where there's nothing but death and misery? And that is what's happened. She has lost her daughter. No amount of power and money and prestige and throne is going to bring my daughter back. She says that. She's like, how much longer are we going to keep doing this? We lost her
yeah,
because of this. And then you see at the end of the episode that they have lost a son now as well. So this is a
Yeah.
lot of heartbreak for them. And I feel really bad because here is a mother that's mourning the loss of her child. And all around her, there's a chess game going on. No one cares about Renee's. No one cares about Laena. It's all about what's going to happen next, especially when it
Everyone
comes
just
from
cares about
Allison
themselves.
and Rhaenyra and Daemon and Hightower. They are all in it for themselves. So they're all
100%.
selfish. They're all, morally bankrupt in their own way. I know you side with Rhaenyra in all of this. Obviously, I side with Allison in all of this, but neither side is that great.
Yeah,
Both sides are
nobody's a
highly
good guy here.
negative.
There is only one poor guy, good guy, that's Lenore, right? That
Yeah,
he is, I think, the nicest character in this whole thing. But I loved
yeah.
it when you talked about real quick. Rhaenys is talking in the chamber, right? And they're talking, going back and forth about, yes, it was my right. I should have had it. But look, get over it, dude. It seems like you want it more than me now.
Tino, if someone took my right, you would be fighting hell and back for me to get
Yes.
that right.
Oh no, so when Corlys actually talks about that, hey, look, Rhaenyra has kids and they're going to be, the heir to the throne after Rhaenyra. And she goes, well, yeah, but you don't remember they're bastards or whatever, right? They're not really the true blood. And that's
Yep.
the best line of this whole episode comes after that when he goes, history doesn't remember blood, it remembers names. Doesn't matter what the hair of the color is true blood or not. It all comes down to who's the heir and then who is behind
So
that.
then we can flip it and say for Allison's team, Allison's side, it doesn't matter if they're not Rhaenyra or her heirs. Allison's kids can sit up there. On one side, we have a mother who has lost her child, so I felt extremely bad for Renee. At the same time, I understood like Allison losing control. Here you have a son who has lost his eye. There's a huge scar on his face. As a mother, obviously, you're gonna take a stand and hope that your king, your husband, has enough guts to do something about it. It's like, hello, he's not only my son, it's your son too. What kind of craziness is this? He was attacked by a dagger or with a dagger. No
Yeah,
one
but
has
the
the
thing
guts to
is,
say anything. Rhaenyra is obviously a mother as well. She is sticking up for her kids. So I don't fault her on that either. These are both women, these are both mothers, and these are both strong women.
I
So
loved it.
even though I am Team Allison, I understand why Rhaenyra is doing what she's doing, even though I was sitting there hating on her a little while ago. That doesn't mean I agree with it, but I understand because look, if I talk about it from Allison's perspective, if some person took my son's eye out, you best believe that I'm getting justice for my son. Like, there is no way that I'm gonna be
100%.
like, okay, it was a mistake. Bye bye. No.
Yeah, no, actually, I agree with your points on there. I mean, I think they're both strong women and they're doing right what they feel is right.
Yeah, because I mean, even though Rhaenyra has, stepped outside her marriage and had kids out of wedlock, the thing here is at the end of the day, they're her kids. So she's gonna make sure that they get their due as well. And like always, Viserys is an ostrich. He likes to put his head in the sand. He doesn't want to deal with any complications, even though his life is full of complications. And some of them, or maybe most of them, are his doing. Because if he had taken a stand from the beginning, maybe this would have never happened. Reluctantly, he chose Rhaenyra as his heir. Now he wants Rhaenyra as the heir. He wants her to go forward, but now he has two sons. So I feel
Yeah.
like there's a little bit of favoritism happening here as well, between the
It's
heir
so
and his other
weird.
kids. But as it's a king, I guess this is how it happens. The
It is.
firstborn is obviously the most important, especially if that happens to be your heir.
Yeah, what would I do in the situation? Because in one hand is your oldest daughter, basically the one that you had with the true love of your life, right? On
Was
the other
it?
hand,
Was
you have,
it? He put her to death. She was just there to give birth after
yeah,
birth
but
after birth for a son.
yeah.
So is that love?
I mean, I get it, but there was obviously there was something, right? Like he didn't, honestly, I
Something.
don't feel like he wanted to get married, right, to Allison.
We can't really judge him, I guess, by normal standards here. This is a whole Game of Thrones world, House of the Dragon world. So it's all in grays. Like I said, every character is a shade of gray. You just have to pick and choose which wrong you agree with. Let's just talk about another father-daughter duo, Otto Hightower and Allison. I actually really like this scene because Allison has her outburst. She turns into a tiger mom. Then she realizes that she may have crossed a line and she feels bad about it. You can tell, you can see it in her face that she doesn't
Yeah.
like or she didn't like who she became. But Otto Hightower, he has a completely different take on it. He says that maybe you crossed the line, but damn, I didn't believe you had it in you. And now, from this day forward, I think that you have what it takes to not only fight for yourself and our house, you have what it takes to put your son on the throne. So here you see another father-daughter duo. The daughter is not feeling great with herself, but you have a father who is fully supporting her in this mission because he also has his own motives, and that is to
That's
have the Hightower name up there. So everyone
yeah,
has their own little game to play. Everyone has their own selfish card to throw on the table. At the same time, we have Lenore. He has had his dalliances outside of marriage as well. And I think he even says at some point that he wished that the gods hadn't made him the way he was because if he
yeah,
wasn't gay, maybe this marriage could have had some success. I thought that was heartbreaking. And I
yeah,
don't think Rhaenyra was really that sympathetic, but I did like how she said, "No, you tried your best. It is what it is." And even though he says that, "Hey, I feel like I should recommit to you to this marriage because I've let you down, I let my sister
yeah.
down, and I can, focus on here." But it's never gonna be a husband and wife situation.
Yeah, and he actually calls that out too, right? He says that, look, you deserve a husband, and I just can't. And I think that moment it really showed the feelings that he actually has for Rhaenyra. Obviously, it's a different type of
Yeah,
love, but
they're
I
not
felt that a little
sexual
bit.
feelings, but there are
Yeah,
feelings there.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he respects her and he feels horrible that man is big.
Yeah.
If I was only different, right, then none of this will be an issue. And actually, I wondered that last episode as well. That okay, well, why are they just not trying, right? Maybe one
No,
son
because they
from
did
the
make that
thing.
comment that
Yeah,
he has been in bed with her.
because he actually tells Damon that too. That look, I've even tried it a few times, but it's just the connection is
Yeah.
not there, so that's why nothing happened.
Yeah, but that connection, the lusty connection is there with her uncle for everyone to
Oh
see.
yeah, hundred
But
percent,
I
man,
do
100%.
like that Lenore never blamed Rhaenyra either. He never said,
Yeah,
"Hey, you're going and having sex with other people." He could have easily said that too. She
yeah,
did throw it on him. "You're out there having fun, and look at me. We have to raise these kids." She has thrown it on him. What happens to his character throughout the episode? There have been ups and downs and changes. But the problem that I have with Lenore is that he's passive. He's a reactionary character. He doesn't take anything into his hands. He obviously has
yeah,
another lover. He obviously wants to spend his life with him and do other things, outside of his duties here. But he can't just stand up and say it because that's not his place. His behavior, his thinking is all a reactionary cause to what has happened. And in this
yeah.
case, Rhaenyra and Daemon hatch a plan. They have their night together and now they want to be together. They want this marriage to happen without Viserys finding out, without Alicent finding out, without the Velaryons finding out. They want this to happen because they know that there's going to be a lot of issues coming from around them, but they don't care. So they want to get it done. And what do? They basically, go and kill an innocent. They go and kill an innocent guy, a soldier, to make it look like when Lenore's lover attacks him and shoves him into the fire place where the Valerians came and see that their son is now crisp as well. An innocent guy had to lose his life so that Lenore could go across the seas and so that Rhaenyra and Daemon could share a life together.
I
Even
think it
though,
was actually good for Rhaenyra to do that as well. I don't think Damon would have done that. He wouldn't have cared. He'd be like, man, kill him. I don't care, right? That's how he is. But Rhaenyra, I think it was all Rhaenyra basically saying, no, he deserves a happy life too, right?
yeah,
So
he
he said,
deserves a happy life,
yes.
but this other person's life doesn't matter.
Whenever Damon put his little hood on, man, somebody's gonna die.
You
I mean,
know something is happening.
yeah, something is gonna go down.
You know what? Beginning of the series, I thought Damon was a very strong character. I was even Team Damon. Remember in the
Yeah.
whole fight for the airdom, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I was on Damon's side. But for the last few episodes, he has become more and more meek. He's also becoming reactionary. He is also letting other people dictate what he does with his life. I don't know what
Yeah.
he has done with himself. He is not that strong, rebellious guy anymore.
He's playing throughout the whole thing. He is, I think, really by far in this whole series, the smartest
He
and
is the
most clever
smartest.
guy. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think he's just playing us all too as viewers.
There are two people in this series who are the smart ones. We have Damon, who is playing his mind tricks, looking like a possum, basically. Then you have Laris Strong. Laris is also using his brain, using his tactics, and getting his things done. And now he has gotten Otto Hightower back in his position, which is why he killed off his family. Damon and Laris are still playing chess, and they are good at it. They're getting what they want done. As a viewer, I would just want Damon to go back to that strong vocal character. He has become, like I said, he might be playing mind games, which he is. He still
Yeah,
has
he
a
is.
goal in mind. He might even be using Rhaenyra as a stepping stone. He
Yes,
might,
100%.
get married to her and get close to the throne, but who's to say that he's not going to betray her next and to become king instead of king
Yep.
consort? There's a big difference between being king and being a queen's husband.
Yeah, I think they know that, this is Damon doesn't like Alicent or any of those guys. He doesn't like Sir Kristen Cole because Kristen Cole
Yeah,
beat his butt during the tourney. So there's
exactly.
obviously this bond forming. So he's like, okay, you know what? Rhaenyra also hates them. Perfect. I'm going to, figure this thing out. Man, he's playing some crazy mind games, 100%.
Yeah. And although Rhaenyra is the vocal one, she's feisty, she's fierce. What if she ends up being a puppet in Damon's hands? Because
Yeah.
if she is feisty and fierce, Damon has been all those things as well. And on top of that, Damon knows how to play this game, which Rhaenyra does to a certain extent. But I feel like Damon has her number when it comes to that as well.
Yes, because Damon knows that while Damon may not have any feelings for Rhaenyra per se, right? But she does 100%.
She does
And
have something.
she does. I mean, even at her own wedding, right? She was going to him and saying, "Hey, take me away, right? Get married to me and this and that, right?" I
Mhm.
mean, so she definitely does. So I really think that Damon is also using that a little bit.
Damon and Rhaenyra are married. They get married with their kids as witnesses. So both sets of kids see that, hey, our parents can move on pretty quickly. And so now these cousins go from being cousins to being siblings, I guess, because all is okay and valid in the Targaryen world, which is fine, I guess, if you swing that way. I want to see what happens from here on out. What happens when people start finding out of their little secret marriage? What happens now that Hightower is back in the picture? And also, how much further is Viserys gonna deteriorate now? Because physically he's ailing, now mentally he's ailing.
Every episode, I always tell you that I'm just like trying to see, okay, is he going to be alive? Is he going to be alive?
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
alive again, man. This guy is not. I don't know what's happening, but he
yeah.
is still there.
Obviously, you and I enjoyed this episode because while watching it and now reviewing it, we have been on different ends, about how we feel about the characters in the show. But that being
Yeah.
said, we still like it. This episode was a really good one because it elicited these emotions from us, even. Like, what is happening? Why are you on her side? Why are you on her side? We
I
had our
love it.
own
It's
issues going
awesome.
on.
I think that's why the directors and the writers, right, they want that. We see this
Yeah.
all, even look on Twitter, Team Green, Team Black, right?
Yes.
That's exactly what they
I'm Team
wanted, and
Green
they have
all
it.
the way.
And I'm Team Black all the way.
Thanks for joining us. Please let us know in the comment section down below. What did you think of the episode? Where do you think this show is heading? How do you feel Mom Rhaenyra and Mom Alicent did, sticking up for their kids the way they did? Because at the end of the day, they might be Queen Alicent and Princess Rhaenyra, but they're mothers. And in this episode, motherhood was the most important. Follow me on social media. I am Furry602. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week with another review of House of the Dragon. See ya.